So, yeah. That was good. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah. Yeah, how do people read that and not see, like, that was an angel from God, and he said, go back and just do what she says. Like, if that was God, and God was telling the angel to do that, like, there's a problem. Because the Christian God that they claim they follow doesn't allow slavery and all this stuff, but I mean, that angel literally told her to go back and just be a doormat to the lady that she was supposed to be a doormat to, so it's really disgusting. I just feel, I honestly hope that a lot of these stories, I hope that a lot of these stories are just stories and not how people treated each other, but I have a feeling that even if these people weren't real, there were real people who had to deal with a lot of this stuff, because this is how their culture lived, which was not great. And it really frustrates me because I've looked into like other cultures, and there's other cultures that were around the same time that didn't treat women as property, and they didn't treat women as slaves. Like, they let women have rights, and it's really frustrating because when I talk to Christians, like, they don't see that because they don't look into like other cultures and stuff. So when I look into it and I see that there were other cultures that actually saw women as people, and then you have this tribe out in the middle of the desert who they don't see women as people, and they take all of their rights away, and they're literally just slaves to their husbands and slaves to whoever else they need to be slaves to. It's disgusting. And I don't know. I have not heard any good arguments from anybody. Yeah, I don't understand it at all. And it's so sad because, like, when I was in the church, I talked to a lot of the older women, and there's a lot of older women who, like, they either married, like, horrible men who abused them, and they stayed with them because they thought that's what God wanted, or they married, horrible men, and the men ended up running off on them, and then they were stuck with their kids and stuff, and there was nothing they could do. Because a lot of them, like, this was, like, the 50s and 60s where they were having kids, and, like, they just had to deal with the situation because that horrible person ran off. So, I don't know. I feel really bad for those women in the church because I feel like a lot of women go through that and no one's there to help them. Yeah, they blame the women, and it's really sad because, like, during those times, they really need people to be, like, supportive and loving, and, I don't know. I mean, when I was in the church, I felt like people were supporting and loving, but there was also a lot of victim blaming when it came to that kind of stuff, and it just makes me sad, but it makes me upset too, because it's just a toxic culture to be in altogether. And as a woman, you're so, like, groomed into that system that you don't even see what's wrong with it. Like, you're just like, this is what God gave me, so this is what I have to deal with. And it's really sad. And honestly, I wish I could reach more of the women in the church, because I think a lot of women and children go through things they shouldn't, and they have no way of protecting themselves because the church is just like, well, he's a man of God, so you have to just deal with it. It makes me sad. But I can't, like, unbrainwash people who have brainwashed themselves and have been raised in it. Like, they have to make the decision to leave that toxic environment, and I think that's a big reason why I do what I do, is because I want people to see how toxic this religion really is, and how it's not healthy for anyone. It's not healthy for anyone who's in an abusive relationship. It's not healthy for people with mental problems. Like, I struggle with horrible anxiety, and it's gotten way better since I left the church, because I would literally, like, beat myself up in my head and tell myself that I was worthless and I was never going to live up to the standards God wanted, and it was mental abuse of myself every single day. And I don't think anyone should have to deal with that. And I think about people who have, like, depression and all these other things, and instead of going to counselors and making sure that they're healthy and they're taken care of, and maybe get on medication that they might need to make their mental state more balanced, like, they won't do that because the church tells them, oh, well, it's just you need to just pray more, you need to just focus on God more. And it doesn't do anything. You just sit there hoping that you're gonna change, and you don't take action. And this invisible God that they claim is there is not gonna take action either, because there's nothing there. They're just wishing on a star that all of it will go away, and that's not how reality works. And we need to live in reality, because all the people who don't live in reality really struggle and really have a lot of issues that they can't deal with because they live in this fantasy world. Yeah, that's a big thing too, Jade. I definitely, I'm with you on that, because I didn't even know, like, I had, like, the things that were going on in my mind and stuff were anxiety. Like, I had no idea until I went and talked to a doctor and, like, actually went and saw a therapist, and they're like, yeah, you have anxiety and you have all these things from your past, and, like, we need to talk about them and get you healthy and get you on some medication. And yeah, my life has been so much better, because letting go of those religious ideas, that helped. That just took, like, a huge weight off of my shoulder and helped me see, like, this is not healthy. This is not how things work. Like, my brain is literally, like, broken and needs to be fixed. Yeah. And yeah, I had to get on medication, because that stress and that anxiety that I get all the time, like, that wasn't just gonna go away like that. I need something to help me with that, and I'm glad I got help too, and I'm glad that I was able to see that the way I was raised and the way I was told how to deal with things in the world is not healthy at all, and it just added to the issues that I had. So I think that's really important when we look at that, because I think a lot of people don't look at that and say, you know, this is a health issue. This is something that you need to go see a doctor for, not pray to an invisible being and just hope that everything's gonna work out. Like, you might as well be wishing on a star. Like, it doesn't do any good if you don't take action. So, and I'm really glad that I was able to get out of that toxic environment, because honestly, I think I would have been way worse off, and my life would have gone in a totally different direction. And yeah, it saved me in more ways than anyone could ever know. It saved my mental health, and it saved my family's mental health, and it saved my family in general, because if I hadn't gone through that and found out who I was and, you know, figured out what I wanted in life and what my family wanted, like, I don't think my family would have stayed together. So I think all in all, like, I know a lot of people get upset when they hear, like, atheists be like, well, my life is way better now because I'm healthier and I'm able to, like, learn things and I'm not stuck in a cage. And I think that really frustrates Christians, because when they hear that, they're just like, you can't be happy without Christ. Like, there's no way, you have no idea. But it's actually, yeah, all the atheists I've talked to, and even agnostics and anyone who's left the church, I guess even progressive Christians, like, just changing your whole mindset definitely can make you a healthier person. And I think that is one thing that I am very grateful for, is that looking into things and actually figuring out who I was and what I wanted to believe, and not just believing things because people had told me my whole life. And yeah, it took a huge shakeup in my life for that to happen, but I'm really glad that it did, because I'm the person I want to be today. Yeah, it is. It's freeing, and I'm so happy with who I am, and I'm able to, talk to other people about who I am, and I have friends now that are very I don't know, like, they're trying to... Hi, bisexual Exmo. Thanks for following. Yeah, I'm very grateful for it, and I have friends from, like, college and stuff, and we talk, and we're all kind of, like, on the same page right now, because a lot of us, we went to Christian college together, and we all grew up believing these things, and now a lot of us are leaving, and we're all talking to each other and being like, how did we live this life for so long? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm just glad to have people around me that have been in the same place I have been, and the online community. I think that is a huge help, because when you leave the church, like, a lot of your life is the church, and that was my life. Like, every Sunday I was in church, and I even helped, like, youth group and all that stuff. Like, I was deep in it, and just seeing how deep I was in it, and then realizing, like, I'm literally just doing what everybody else in the church is doing, where I'm just brainwashing the next generation, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I think having kids too, like, changes you in that aspect too, because you want your kids to actually, explore and understand the world. And I know for me, once I realized that Christianity wasn't true, I was like, yeah, I don't want my kids anywhere near this environment, because it's not healthy and it's not good, and they need to be able to think for themselves, and they need to have those critical thinking skills, and I think that is so important. And that was a big talk that me and my husband had after we both had left the church, was like, my kids need to be in a better, healthier place, because telling them these things are true when they're not is not healthy. And they're gonna grow up in this environment where they think, they're gonna grow up in an environment where they think that they just have to, pray to God or whatever, and they're never gonna get the help they need. And I think at the end of the day, them living in reality and realizing, like, that they're lucky to have the life that they have, and they need to, be open-minded, but at the same time, don't be sucked into things that are not healthy for them either. So that was a big thing for me, and I'm really glad I got them out of church. And yeah, it's really cool to talk to them now, because they're still young, but they understand so much more than you think they do. And, like, I go into deep talks with my 8-year-old that you would never even think an 8-year-old would think about, but because he had been raised in that till he was like 4 or 5, like, that's still in his head, and he still has questions, but he uses the critical thinking skills he has now, and he's like, oh yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense, and why would they do that? And it's really cool to see them grow, and to see them use those skills and be like, yeah, like, I need to think about that, and I need to make sure that what this is saying is true. So I enjoy those conversations, even if they're still young, and I want them to have a better life. So, and now I'm just rambling on, but yeah, guys, thanks. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about, or I can go? You guys like my new setup? I tried to make it all pretty last night. I stayed up a little. I stayed up all night. Well, not all night. I stayed up like an hour later than I normally do to like find the layout and make it all awesome. I gotta fix my green screen though. I forgot to do that before the stream, but it's fine. We'll get it done tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out this whole Twitch thing. But there's so many things that go into it and you just don't realize it until you start doing it. Like with YouTube, I can just make my video and post it. But with Twitch, it's like you have to be live and you have to talk and you have to be interesting and yeah, so. And there's so many different programs to like use and add, and you just don't know how to do everything until you teach yourself how to do it. Or you find someone who knows how to do it and they teach you, but because I'm a mom, I don't always have the time to yeah, start with the one you want first, Jade, cuz but I don't know. I didn't think I would ever like want to do live streams because I'm horrible at like talking and keeping people interested like live. I can write like 10 scripts in a day and record them and make them all beautiful and then animate them, but doing live stuff is a little more tricky. But I think over time it'll get easier. I think it's one of those things that you just have to practice. And I have not practiced it very much because, you know, most of my YouTube videos are recorded. But, thank you. Yeah. I feel like it is easier to go to other people's channels because there's other people talking. But it's a little bit harder for me because I'm not an extrovert, I'm kind of an introvert. But I'm also one of those people that like, once I get a group of people that I'm really like connected with and like friends with and stuff, like if you get me talking then I don't shut up. So like I have to break out of my shell and it takes me a while, but once I break out of my shell, like I could just talk all day. And I also talk fast. Once I get going, like I talk fast. That's one thing that I've learned, like when I do my live videos, is like I'll have to slow myself down because I'll just start like I'll start slow and then I'll just keep ramping up and I'm like, I need to like slow down because I am talking so fast that my words sound like they're all together, which is not good on a video. But yeah, I don't know why that is. That's just, I guess that's how I am. So I have to like slow myself down. So I think that's one thing I'm gonna have to learn for live streams, is like not to just keep going and start talking faster and faster and faster. But yeah, I don't know. I like doing this and I hope I can do it more in the future. And as my kids get older and they're gonna be like going to school full-time and stuff again once all this COVID stuff's over, hopefully, or at least calms down, then I'll have more time and like everyone will be gone and I'll just be at home. And I'm hoping I can do this more and I don't know, maybe make something out of it other than just, I don't know. That's my hope. We'll see. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do because because I grew up in the church, like, I never really had direction for anything. And then since I became a mom, like, I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 8 years, so it's like, I don't know if I want to go back to, like, work, or if I want to try to make, like, the online thing work, or... yeah, so we'll see how it all goes. And if it doesn't all go, I mean, I'll still do the online thing. It's just, it won't be like a daily thing if I do find something else I want to do. But I don't know. I really like doing this. And I really like making videos. And I think even though I'm not like someone who went to school and knows how to edit and everything, like, I hope I'm creative enough that I can just keep doing this for a while. So, we'll see. Yeah, so thank you everyone for coming. If anybody has anything else to talk about, I'm just babbling right now, so. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Hopefully I will get reading done tomorrow. I have no idea what time I'm going to do it tomorrow because it's Saturday and I have a birthday party I have to take my kids to, so we will see how that all goes. So I might have to do it later in the day. We'll see. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, have a good day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend too, if I don't see you. Bye guys.